Have you ever wondered, why is the sky blue? Well, it's not just about light or our eyes playing tricks on us. It's chemistry, the intricate dance of molecules and elements that crafts the colors of our world. Today, we're embarking on a journey into the heart of this captivating science. In this video, we'll dive headfirst into the ocean of chemistry, seeking answers to questions that have piqued our curiosity. We'll begin by unraveling the mystery of the azure sky. Is it a simple reflection of the sea, or is there more to it? Chemistry, with its atoms and reactions, holds the key to this puzzle. From the elemental to the bubbly, the sweet and the spicy, we'll delve into a series of intriguing chemistry conundrums, each one more fascinating than the last. So buckle up, fellow explorers, as we dive into the world of chemistry. Stay tuned to find out the fascinating chemical explanation behind this everyday phenomenon. So, why is the sky blue? A question as old as time, yet the answer lies not in the realm of the mystical, but in the domain of chemistry. Let's delve into the concept of Rayleigh scattering. It's named after the British physicist Lord Rayleigh, who first studied it in depth. This principle explains why we perceive the sky as blue, even though sunlight appears colorless to the naked eye. Imagine sunlight as a mix of different colors, each represented by light waves of varying lengths. Red light waves are longer, while blue and violet light waves are shorter. When sunlight enters our atmosphere, it encounters molecules of nitrogen and oxygen. These molecules are much smaller than the wavelength of light, which is where Rayleigh scattering comes into play. Rayleigh scattering is the dispersal of light off of these small molecules in all directions. However, it doesn't treat all light equally. This scattering is more effective for shorter wavelength light, such as blue and violet, causing these colors to be scattered about the sky, while longer wavelengths like red and yellow pass straight through. Now you might wonder, if violet light is scattered more than blue light, why isn't the sky violet then? Good point! While violet light is indeed scattered more than blue light, our eyes are more sensitive to blue light and less sensitive to violet light. Additionally, sunlight reaches us with less violet to begin with. So what we see is a sky filled with scattered blue light, giving it its characteristic color. It's the same reason why a clear day's sky turns a brilliant red or orange at sunset. As the sun lowers, its light has to pass through more of the Earth's atmosphere, scattering more blue and violet light, and allowing the longer wavelengths of red and orange to reach our eyes. Isn't it amazing how chemistry helps us understand the world around us? With every glance at the blue sky, you're witnessing the fascinating dance of light and molecules, a performance choreographed by the laws of physics and chemistry. Next up, have you ever pondered, why is water H2O? Let's start with hydrogen, the lightest and most abundant element in the universe. It's like the basic building block of matter. Each hydrogen atom has one proton and one electron buzzing around it. Now, let's move to oxygen. A bit heavier, oxygen atoms have 8 protons and 8 electrons. But here's the kicker. 2 of those electrons are like free spirits. They're out in an outer shell, yearning to pair up with other electrons. That's where hydrogen steps in. With its single electron, hydrogen is more than happy to share. When 2 hydrogen atoms meet an oxygen atom, they form a sort of partnership, a bond. This bond is what we call a covalent bond. It's like a pact between atoms to share their electrons, making everyone happy and stable. So, when 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen get together, they form H2O, or as we commonly know it, water. This might seem like a simple process, but it's happening on a scale that's hard to comprehend. Every single drop of water you've ever seen, from the ocean to a teardrop, is made up of billions upon billions of these tiny partnerships, these covalent bonds. Isn't it astounding to think about that something we take for granted every day, like water, is the result of countless tiny atoms sharing and bonding? It's a microscopic dance happening all around us, and inside us, every second of every day. This is the beauty of chemistry. It's not just test tubes and lab coats, it's the fundamental way that everything in the universe interacts and connects. From the color of the sky to the water we drink, chemistry is there explaining it all. So chemistry not only explains the color of the sky, but also the very essence of life, water. Now let's tackle a fizzy question. Why does soda fizz when you open it? Well, the answer is rooted in the fascinating world of chemistry. It's all about the principle of gas solubility and how pressure impacts it. Let's take a closer look. Gas solubility refers to the capability of a gas to dissolve in a liquid. The solubility of a gas in a liquid is directly proportional to the pressure of that gas above the liquid. This is known as Henry's law. named after the British scientist William Henry, who formulated it in the early 19th century. Now, let's apply this to our soda can. The soda we drink is actually a solution of water, sugar, flavorings, and a key ingredient, carbon dioxide gas. The carbon dioxide is forced into the liquid under high pressure during the bottling process. Thanks to Henry's law, the carbon dioxide dissolves into the soda because of the high pressure inside the can. But what happens when you open the can? You're releasing the pressure. With the pressure gone, the conditions are no longer right for the carbon dioxide to remain dissolved in the liquid. So it begins to escape from the soda in the form of tiny gas bubbles. That's the fizz you see and hear when you crack open a soda can. The process of carbon dioxide leaving the soda is a physical change known as degassing. As the gas bubbles rise to the surface, they carry some of the soda with them, which can cause an eruption if the can was shaken before opening. So there you have it. The fizz in your soda is a fun demonstration of gas solubility and pressure changes. It's a little piece of everyday chemistry happening right in your hand. So the next time you open a soda can, you'll know it's all about chemistry. Here's a sweet one. Why does sugar taste sweet? Well, we all know that sugar tastes sweet, but have you ever wondered why? It's all down to an intricate dance between sugar molecules and our taste receptors. Let's start with the basics. Taste is a sensory function that allows us to experience flavor. Our tongues are covered in small bumps called papillae, which house our taste buds. These taste buds are essentially bundles of cells that act as receptors for our sense of taste. We have 5 basic tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. Each of these tastes is detected by a different type of receptor. For instance, the sweet receptors are known as T1R2 and T1R3. Now, let's bring sugar into the picture. Sugar, or more scientifically, sucrose, is a compound made up of 2 simpler sugars, glucose and fructose. When you pop a piece of candy into your mouth, the sugar molecules come into contact with the sweet receptors on your tongue. What happens next is fascinating. The sugar molecules bind to the sweet receptors, causing them to change shape. This shape change triggers a signal that is then sent to the brain. It's the brain that interprets this signal as the sensation we know and love as sweetness. But not all sugars are created equal. Different sugars interact with our sweet receptors in different ways, leading to varying levels of sweetness. For example, fructose is perceived as sweeter than glucose even though they're both sugars. Sugar isn't the only thing that can trigger our sweet receptors, though. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose can also bind to the sweet receptors and trigger a sweet response. They're often much sweeter than sugar, but they don't have the same calories, which is why they're used in diet products. So, the next time you're enjoying a sweet treat, take a moment to appreciate the complex chemistry happening on your tongue. After all, the sweetness you taste is nothing but a chemical interaction. Lastly, ever wondered, why does chili feel hot even though it's not actually hot? Yes, you heard it right. This quirky puzzle is the 6th enigma we are about to unravel in our top 5 chemistry questions. So, what's the secret behind the fiery sensation of chilies? The answer lies in a potent compound called capsaicin. This chemical warrior is the primary ingredient that gives chilies their characteristic heat. But here's the twist. Capsaicin is not hot at all, at least not in the way we think of heat. Capsaicin is an active component of chili peppers, belonging to the genus Capsicum, hence the name. But how does this compound make us feel like we've just bitten into a piece of the sun? It's all about trickery at a molecular level. Capsaicin works its magic by interacting with our sensory neurons, specifically the ones that are responsible for sensing heat and physical abrasion. When you bite into a chili, the capsaicin molecules bind to a receptor on these neurons called TRPV1. This receptor is usually activated by high temperatures above 43 degrees Celsius. When capsaicin binds to the TRPV1 receptor, it lowers the threshold for heat activation, fooling your neurons into thinking they're being exposed to extreme heat. In response, your neurons send a distress signal to your brain saying, "Hey, we've got a hot situation here." And voila, you feel the burn. But remember, it's not real heat, it's just a clever chemical trick. Capsaicin doesn't cause any actual temperature change, it just convinces your brain that it does. So next time you find yourself reaching for a glass of water after biting into a spicy taco, remember the sneaky little compound capsaicin. It's not the chili that's hot, it's the capsaicin playing tricks on your sensory neurons. So, the heat you feel from a chili is all about a chemical trick. And with that, we've solved the spicy puzzle of why chilies feel hot even though they're not. Isn't chemistry fascinating? As we've learned, chemistry is everywhere in our lives. It's the science that explains the world around us and many of the phenomena we encounter daily. Let's take a moment to recap the fascinating mysteries we've unraveled today. We opened our discussion with the vibrant blue sky that we often take for granted. It's not just a pretty sight, but a wonderful demonstration of chemistry at work. The sky appears blue because molecules in the Earth's atmosphere scatter sunlight in every direction, and blue light is scattered more than other colors because it travels in smaller, shorter waves. This is known as Rayleigh scattering. So, the next time you gaze at the sky, remember, it's not just air and light, but a complex chemical interaction that gifts us this daily spectacle. Next, we delved into the elemental question: why is water H2O? Water is composed of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. This specific combination is what gives water its unique properties, such as its ability to dissolve many substances, its high heat capacity, and its unusual behavior when frozen. It's the chemistry of H2O that makes life on Earth possible. It's not just a thirst quencher, but a life sustainer. Our third mystery bubbled over with the question of why soda fizzes when you open it. The answer lies in the fact that soda is carbonated. It contains dissolved carbon dioxide gas under pressure. When you open the can or bottle, the pressure is released, and the carbon dioxide rushes out, forming those familiar bubbles. It's not magic, but chemistry that causes the fizz and crackle of your favorite soda. Then we sweeten things up with a discussion about why sugar tastes sweet. The answer is found in our taste buds. When sugar molecules come into contact with the sweet receptors on our taste buds, they trigger a series of reactions that send a signal to our brains, registering the taste as sweet. So, the sweetness you savor in your favorite dessert is a result of a chemical conversation between sugar and your taste buds. Finally, we turned up the heat with our last question: why does chili feel hot? This burning sensation is caused by a compound called capsaicin. When we eat chilies, capsaicin binds to pain receptors in our mouths that are responsible for sensing heat. Our brains interpret this as a burning sensation. So, the heat you feel when eating spicy food isn't actual heat, but a chemical trick played by the capsaicin. In each of these instances, chemistry plays a central role, proving that it's not just a subject in textbooks, but an integral part of our lives. Each question we ask about the world around us can lead us to a deeper understanding of the chemical interactions at play. So, the next time a question pops into your mind, remember, there's probably a chemical answer waiting to be discovered.